Welcome to the third portion of the FOQUS instructions regarding the basics. So in this example, or in this video, we're going to show you how to automatically run a set of inputs in FOQUS. We're going to use the same example that we used in the second video that shows how to set up and run the FOQUS flow sheet. And the link for this video is shown in the description below. So the first thing we're going to do is open Excel, and we're going to type in the names of our input and our input variables. So in this case, we need to type in the name of our node, example dot x1, which is the name of our input variable, and then we type in example, once again the name of our node, dot x2, which is the name of our second input variable. However, there's some tricks that can come in handy when you want to type in these names of the input variables. So I'm gonna open up a new Excel spreadsheet and go back to FOQUS. Let's say you already run the FOQUS file already, and you already have this table among the results of our flowsheet table. And as you can see, we already have example x1 and example x2 here, so we can just go to export, copy data to clipboard, and return to our new Excel file and paste it. And all we need to do is locate our input variables, which are these two. And for the FOQUS flowsheet table, all input variables have input dot in the beginning of its name. So all we need to do is just delete these and take these variables, move it to the first two set columns, and we need to delete input dot. And now we have our names of our input variables listed. And there's yet another way we can do this, which is to go back to FOQUS, go to our uncertainty tab, and randomly generate a set of samples. So we're going to click add new, use the flow sheet, click OK, and this, as you can see, the names of our input variables are listed on this table with the default values and the minimum maximum values. And because we don't really care about what the samples look like, we just want to copy and paste the names of the input variables, what we got to do is go to sampling scheme, select any of these. So Monte Carlo is fine with 10 samples. We generate samples, and it's done. And then we click done, and we go back to our Excel file. And what I'm going to do is open it on half the screen and just type in example.x1, example.x2 from here. And as you can see, the input variables are highlighted in pink, while the output variables are highlighted in yellow in this table in the uncertainty tab. So we're just going to type in example.x1 and example.x2 in the first two columns. And so there you have it, 3 different ways on how to type in the names of our input variables. So now going back to our example, so I'm going to go here, and in this case we're going to set the value of x1 as 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9, and the values of x2 as 0, 2, 4, 6, and 8. So these are the combinations that we would like FOQUS to run for x1 and x2 and to compute y1 and y2. So we're going to save this Excel file, and we're going to save it in our desktop. I'm going to call this Excel file example samples, and we're going to save this. This is very important. We're going to save this as a CSV MS-DOS, because in order for FOQUS to be able to read a set of inputs, one of the formats that it accepts is a CSV file or a comma separate value file. And then so we're going to save this, and every time you save an Excel file as a CSV file, Microsoft Excel will give you this warning where some features in your workbook might be lost if you save it as a CSV file. If you want to keep using this format, then we're going to click yes. And then we go back to FOQUS and return to our uncertainty tab. And because this is no longer needed, we're just going to select this random samples and click delete selected. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add new, and then once again use the flow sheet. And now we're going to load all samples from a single file, and then we're going to click this browse button. Then we go to our desktop, and for the file type, we're going to select CSV. And as you can see, our CSV file appears at the bottom here. So we're going to select our CSV file and hit enter to open it, or you can always click this open button. And then we have two options, so we can preview the samples, which shows that the values of x1 and x2 are indeed what we set it to be. So 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9 for x1, and 0, 2, 4, 6, and 8 for x2. So to close this box, all we gotta do is click OK, but if you select x1 and graph 1 descatter, FOQUS can show a scatter plot regarding the values of x1 versus the sample number, or the index for the samples. And likewise, if you go to example x2 and click graph 1 descatter, once again FOQUS shows example x2 on the y-axis and the sample number on the x-axis, or the indices for the samples. And if we select two of the input variables by clicking on it and then holding the shift button and clicking on the other one, we can do a 2D scatter plot. So x2 is shown on the y-axis and x1 is shown on the x-axis, and the combinations, so 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9 versus 0, 2, 4, 6, and 8 are shown on this plot. So we're going to click OK and then click Done, and our 5 sample points are shown in this table. And to run the 5 samples that we generated, or the 5 input combinations that we're interested in other words, all we got to do is click the launch button. And once again, the run is very fast because the code for this simulation was written in FOQUS using Python. So, and as I mentioned in my previous video, these runs tend to be very fast if we type in the Python code directly in FOQUS. So we're just going to click OK. And if we go back to our flow sheet and go to our flow sheet table, as you can see, the results of the 5 runs are listed in our flow sheet table. And once again, if you're interested in looking at these results, we can always go to Menu, Export, Copy Data to Clipboard. Well, export, copy data to clipboard, and go to an Excel spreadsheet. So this is the example that I used, but I'm going to just delete these and paste it. And there you have it. So this is the run from the previous video, which we can delete. And these are our 5 runs from our current video. And as you can see, so x1 and x2 are shown here, and y1 and y2 are shown here. And this concludes our 3rd video regarding the basics of FOQUS on how to automatically run a set of input conditions in FOQUS. Thank you for watching.